Baseball's really hard. We're trying to hit this round ball with a round bat with a tiny little sweet spot. That's hard. It's almost impossible if you can't see that ball. This is one of the most common issues that I usually see with all of our youth hitters. But before we address it, we have to understand why it's happening. The hitters here are just trying to swing as hard as they can, and when they swing as hard as they can, they're spinning all the way around. And coaches, we use examples all the time like keep your eye on the ball, keep your head on it, see it deep, all of these things. But do we really ever explain what these things mean? Here I am to help you out with keeping your son or daughter's head on the ball. If we can't see the ball, we can't hit the ball. What we need to tell to our athlete is keep your head on the tee no matter what. Have some fun with it. Say, if you can't keep your head on this ball, you owe me 1 push-up. I know we don't want to use punishments all the time, but in this specific case, make it light. 1 push-up for a screw-up, not going to hurt anyone here. So let's start with that. We'll say every time your head comes off that tee, you owe me a push-up. To make sure that they keep the head on the tee, say, look where contact is, not where contact goes. Okay, one more time. Look where contact is, not where contact goes. Head stays stuck on the tee. When we're doing this too, make sure that's the only thing we're worrying about. If you're trying to tell them 4 or 5 different things to work on as well as keeping their head on the tee, guess what? They're not going to keep their head on the tee. Make sure that the only focus for that day or that specific training session is keeping your head on the ball, seeing that ball every single time. The most important thing in hitting is vision. We need to make sure we see that ball. So have them take swings, and when they're warming up, make sure that their head stays on that tee and it doesn't look where that ball goes. If they still are struggling to keep their head on the ball, there is a couple things that might be happening. So what usually is happening is that their direction gets pulled off. What I mean by that is even if they're trying to keep their head on the ball, their body is over-rotating. And by over-rotating, even if they want to keep their head on that ball, they're not going to be able to. This is how we try to fix that. So here, even though they're focusing that their head is staying on the ball, we want to add one thing to it. Make sure their belly button, knee, and shoelaces are trying to point towards the second baseman. Left-handed hitters will be the opposite. Point your belly button, knee, and shoelaces towards the shortstop. So now let's add that second thing in here. Their head stays on that tee. They don't look where that ball goes, but belly button, knee, and shoelaces go to that opposite middle infielder. The key to this is making sure that after they're done swinging, they freeze. We want them to swing and hold. And if they hold and their belly button's pointing way over here, we know we need to make an adjustment. Belly button, knee, shoelaces, all pointing here. If they're freezing, they're going to be able to see. The biggest part about making adjustments is being able to see them. There's a huge difference between making a mistake and knowing what happened and making a mistake and not knowing what happened. These freezes will be able to help show them exactly what's going on. Have them coach their self after a while. Make sure that they're telling you what might have happened and you're not telling them what happened. Have them freeze, see that their head's on the tee, belly button, knee, shoelaces all pointing towards that second baseman or shortstop for left-handers. And that's all I want us to focus on off the tee. Now you may ask, what do you do once you get past the tee? So what we need to do first, get that tee out of the way. We want to take a ball and lay this on the outside part of the plate. So after we make contact, we don't want them looking to see where contact goes. We want them to see where contact is. Making sure they're not looking where it goes after contact, we want to be able to see this ball once we make contact. Again, after they're done swinging, have them freeze and see. My head still being able to see this ball. Belly button, knee, shoelaces pointing towards that second baseman. Again, try not to overwhelm. These are 2 different things we need to be focusing on, but these are things that we can focus on every single day. If we focus on 6 things at once, it's going to be really hard to learn anything. Make sure these 2 focuses are consistent until we start fixing where our eyes are. With that ball drill, feel free to do this all the time. This isn't something you just do when you're working on it with your dad. We want to make sure we do this in practice, before games, creating good habits. If we create good habits, those good habits are going to show in the game where that matters the most. Make sure that we're ready to make these mistakes during practice so that we can make these adjustments and use these good things during the game. I'm DR Hitting. Thanks for watching.